Welcome to the Hollywood Secrets Information. In this video, we are diving into the heartbreaking stories of 20 most famous British actors who died in poverty. Behind the glamour of red carpets, royal premieres, and global fame, there are painful truths that many fans never hear about. These actors once ruled the stage and screen, made audiences laugh, cry, and cheer, but in their final years, many face financial struggles, loneliness, and forgotten fame. Some were betrayed by bad investments, others by addiction, illness, or simply a cruel industry that moved on too quickly. And wait until you hear number 15. His story is truly the most shocking of them all. Make sure you watch till the end, because these stories will change the way you look at fame forever. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful Hollywood secrets. 1. Boris Karloff. He was born William Henry Pratt, became a horror legend after playing Frankenstein's monster in 1931. His chilling performance made him one of the most recognizable faces in classic cinema. Despite decades of work in film, television, and radio, Karloff never earned the massive salaries modern stars receive. Much of his income went toward medical treatments in his later years as he suffered from chronic respiratory issues. Though respected, he lived modestly and without the vast wealth fans often assume he had. Karloff passed away on February 2nd, 1969, at the age of 81. His final years were far quieter and financially limited compared to the monstrous fame he once enjoyed. 2. George Formby. He was one of Britain's biggest entertainers in the 1930s and 1940s. Known for his cheerful songs and ukulele performances, he was a household name during World War II. However, after his wife and manager died, his finances spiraled out of control. Poor financial management and heavy taxation significantly reduced his fortune. Despite once being among the highest-paid entertainers in Britain, Formby's wealth diminished rapidly. He died on March 6, 1961, at the age of 56. Though still loved by fans, his financial situation at the end of his life was far from the prosperous image people remembered. 3. Wilfrid Lawson. He was known for playing eccentric and often comedic characters in British films. During the 1930s and 1940s, he appeared in dozens of productions and was highly respected for his acting range. However, personal struggles and limited financial planning meant that his wealth did not last. As roles became fewer in his later years, income declined sharply. Lawson passed away on June 10, 1966, at the age of 79. Despite a long career, his final years were financially difficult, reflecting how unpredictable an acting career can be. For Beatrice Campbell, she was a celebrated British stage and screen actress who rose to fame in post-war British cinema. She won a BAFTA award and was praised for her dramatic performances. Yet despite her acclaim, steady high-paying roles were rare, and the British film industry offered limited financial security at the time. By the end of her life, she lived quietly without significant wealth. Campbell died on November 16, 2005, at the age of 84. Her passing highlighted how even award-winning careers do not always translate into lifelong financial stability. 5. Anthony Steele. He was once one of Britain's leading men during the 1950s. Handsome and charismatic, he starred in numerous war and adventure films. However, his career declined sharply after professional setbacks and personal struggles. Failed investments and a fading career led to financial strain. Once celebrated as a major star, Steele's later years were marked by reduced circumstances. He died on March 21, 2001, at the age of 79. His story reflects how quickly stardom can fade and financial security can disappear. 6. Kathleen Byron, she became famous for her haunting role in Black Narcissus. Though her performance was unforgettable, her film career never brought the lasting fortune that many assume comes with such iconic roles. Much of her work was on stage and television, which paid far less than major film contracts today. In her later years, she lived modestly. Byron passed away on January 18, 2009, at the age of 88. Her life reminds us that artistic brilliance does not always lead to wealth. 7. Godfrey Torrell, he was a distinguished Shakespearean actor who also appeared in early British films and even Hollywood productions. Despite his refined image and successful stage career, the theater world often paid inconsistently. After retiring, his income diminished significantly. Torrell died on April 29, 1953, at the age of 72. Though respected as a classical actor, he did not leave behind substantial wealth. 8. Ronald Howard, he was the son of actor Leslie Howard, starred in the television series Sherlock Holmes during the 1950s. Though the show gained popularity, television contracts of that era did not guarantee long-term financial rewards or royalties. Howard's later years were quiet, and major roles were scarce. He passed away on December 19, 1996, at the age of 79. His financial situation reflected the limitations of early television fame. 9. Peter Sallis, he was the beloved voice of Wallace and Gromit, and also appeared in long-running TV series like Last of the Summer Wine. While he achieved fame and recognition, much of his wealth was modest compared to modern animated stars. Acting in British television historically did not bring Hollywood-level salaries. Sallis died on June 2, 2017, at the age of 96. Though admired worldwide, he lived simply rather than extravagantly. 10. Richard Beckinsale, he was adored for his roles in British sitcoms such as Porridge and Rising Damp. Despite being immensely popular, television actors in the 1970s were not paid enormous sums. His life was tragically cut short, preventing him from building long-term financial security. Beckinsale died suddenly on March 19, 1979, at the age of 31. His early death left behind potential rather than wealth. 11. Diana Dors, she was often called Britain's answer to Marilyn Monroe. Glamorous and bold, she lived a lavish lifestyle during her peak. However, extravagant spending and financial mismanagement led to severe debt. In her later years, she struggled with financial instability. Dors passed away on May 4, 1984, at the age of 52. Her story shows how fast money can disappear in show business. 12. Sid James, he became famous through the Carry On film series. Known for his distinctive laugh, he was one of Britain's most beloved comedic actors. Despite appearing in numerous films, pay structures were not as lucrative as audiences imagine. Financial pressures followed him through life. James died on April 26, 1976, at the age of 62 after suffering a heart attack on stage. Though famous, he did not accumulate massive wealth. 13. Oliver Reed, he was a larger-than-life actor known for intense performances and an equally intense personal life. His heavy spending and personal struggles impacted his finances significantly. Though he starred in major films, financial discipline was not his strength. Reed died on May 2, 1999, at the age of 61. His later life was financially strained despite decades of fame. 14. Vivien Leigh, she was the iconic star of Gone with the Wind, was British-born and globally celebrated. Though she earned significant fame, her health struggles and complex personal life limited her working years. Medical expenses and career interruptions affected her financial standing. Lee died on July 8, 1967, at the age of 53. Despite legendary status, her later years were not as financially secure as many believe. 15. Michael Wilding. He was once a suave leading man in British cinema and even married Hollywood superstar Elizabeth Taylor. With such connections, many assumed he would remain wealthy forever. But shocking financial troubles, career decline, and costly divorces left him struggling. By the end of his life, much of his fortune had disappeared. Wilding died on July 8, 1979, at the age of 66. The contrast between his glamorous marriage and his modest final years makes his story the most shocking on this list. 16. Tony Hancock. He was a revolutionary. Yet personal issues and depression overshadowed his career. Financial instability followed as opportunities declined. Hancock died on June 25, 1968, at the age of 44. Though culturally significant, he did not leave behind vast wealth. 17. Jeremy Brett. Jeremy Brett's portrayal of Sherlock Holmes remains iconic. However, his career was deeply affected by health challenges, limiting his opportunities. Despite recognition, he did not accumulate enormous wealth. Brett died on September 12, 1995, at the age of 61. His artistic legacy far outweighed his financial one. 18. Margaret Rutherford. Margaret Rutherford was famous for her role as Miss Marple. Though beloved, her earnings reflected the modest British film industry of her time. She lived comfortably, but without extreme wealth. Rutherford passed away on May 22, 1972, at the age of 80. Her story reminds us that fame doesn't always mean fortune. 19. Richard Todd. Richard Todd starred in war films and historical dramas, earning critical acclaim. However, fluctuating roles and industry changes impacted his finances later in life. Todd died on December 3, 2009, at the age of 90. Though respected, his later life was financially quieter. 20. Brian Rix. Brian Rix was a beloved British farce actor and campaigner for disability rights. While highly respected, stage and comedy earnings were often limited. His long life saw changing fortunes in entertainment. Rix passed away on August 20, 2016, at the age of 92. His wealth never matched the scale of his fame. Fame can shine brightly, but it can also fade silently. These stories prove that behind the spotlight, life can be unpredictable and unforgiving. That if these stories surprise you, comment below which actor's journey touched you the most. Especially number 15. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Hollywood Secret Information for more untold stories from the world of fame and fortune. Thanks for watching.